Guys, welcome to What's Barking Local. It's Jerry Miller. It's a pleasure to be with you. We are live on the I Love Seville Network. What's Barking Local, an epicenter, a spotlight of the best in the animal community across the Commonwealth, Charlottesville, Central Virginia, Albemarle County, Fluvanna County, Orange County, Louisa County, all of the above. What's Barking Local, powered by Animal Connection. Pattie, Boden on location, enjoying the finer things in life. We are going to put a best of show together on this program, and we're excited to spotlight some of the amazing guests we've had. I think we've done roughly 15 episodes of What's Barking Local, and Pattie Boden has put together an amazing Santa Claus list of some of the best guests in the animal community in Charlottesville, from Angie Gunter, the director of the Charlottesville-Albemarle SPCA, to Erika Proctor, the founder of Green Dogs Unleashed, Dr. Chuck Wood of Old Dominion Animal Hospital, Kathleen of Primal Pet Foods, just Peggy Law of the Service Dogs of Virginia. We're going to talk about the Eastminster Dog Show. That's Wednesday, May 15th. So, Harris, that's next week. Harris Tolber's our director. I'm going to throw this to you in a matter of moments, Harris. And what I'm excited about the best of What's Barking Local is it's an opportunity for us to let everyone know some of the highlights from this animal community and from this program that we put together. What are you excited about, my friend, for this program?
Jerry, it's been an amazing season of What's Barking Local. We've had some incredible people come on the show, people who are doing big things for the animals in our community. Erika Proctor of Green Dogs Unleashed, Peggy Law, who trains service dogs with Service Dogs of Virginia, Dr. Chuck Wood of Old Dominion Animal Hospital, and the list goes on. All these people are doing amazing things in our community, and it's been our pleasure to have them on What's Barking Local and spotlight what they bring to our community. So I'm going to throw it back to you.
I totally agree with you, Harris Tolber. Well said right there. Nicely done. Everything about that was flawless, my friend. I think we need to get the first highlight reel, the first sizzle reel ready to go. Angie Gunter is the executive director of the Charlottesville-Albemarle SPCA, and she is an amazing woman. She is committed to animals and rescuing animals, dogs and cats. The Charlottesville-Albemarle SPCA requires a tremendous amount of funding, and what Angie Gunter is doing is, and her team, I think is certainly something that needs to be spotlighted. So Harris Tolber, in a matter of 3, 2, and 1, let's hear from Angie Gunter. Ooh. Let me throw this question from Meg Taylor in Gordonsville about housebreaking her puppy and tips that you can offer for housebreaking. So why don't we start with Pattie and then get Angie's take on housebreaking a puppy. We've all done it. It's not an easy experience.
It's not easy. And our biggest advice is we're fans of crate training. I mean, it's their den. They don't want to mess up in their crates, and so we advise people to, start with a small crate, paper if you need to, and regular schedules, and have one person in the family responsible every single day. When that puppy gets up, take him outside. When he's eating, take him outside, and that way he always has a pack leader to answer to. If you have children in the family that are capable of following those same parameters, great, but usually we recommend that one person in the family be the leader, and then the rest of the people can follow in when they're capable.
Angie Gunter, absolutely fabulous, executive director of the Charlottesville-Albemarle SPCA, talking about housebreaking puppies. One of the things we've had a lot of success with my German Shepherds, I have 2 German Shepherds, previously had 3, had to put Lucy down about a month and a half ago, is crate training them. Angie Gunter and the SPCA, certainly an organization you want to support. Another one, Harris, that I want to highlight, that you've put together, and I think you absolutely want to highlight, is Erika Proctor of Green Dogs Unleashed. One of the things, and I'm going to throw this to you shortly, Harris, one of the things I love about Green Dogs Unleashed is they're taking dogs that are handicapped and disabled, and they are creating a community for these dogs and helping home and house these dogs. I mean, I cannot think of, Harris, a better or more selfless organization than Green Dogs Unleashed. Your thoughts, Harris Tolber?
Yeah, I mean, I was astounded when Erika came on the show and some of the pictures she sent us of some of these dogs who kind of have been abandoned and they have their own disabilities. And, I think one picture she sent us was of a young puppy who was clearly blind. And just the fact that she's giving these dogs another chance at life, another chance to, be their best selves, and just give them a chance. It's unbelievable, and that's what I loved about having Erika on the program.
I totally agree. Erika Proctor, I got to know at Dog Fest, which is the most fun outdoor party for dogs. It's powered by Animal Connection in the XR Park. That's coming up soon. We're undoubtedly going to tell the story of Dog Fest here on the I Love Seville show and on What's Barking Local. I'm excited to hear from Erika Proctor. So my friend, my pal, my amigo, Harris Tolber, let's roll the tape. You know, what motivated you to launch Green Dogs Unleashed, when you did it? Give us the birth story, the who, what, when, where, why.
So I had a deaf and blind Great Dane puppy thrown out of a truck in front of my training facility back in Washington State 13 years ago. And I didn't know what to do with her. I was an animal behavior specialist then, but here's this deaf and blind puppy. How do I work with it? Took it to the vet, and every vet we went to said, no, you need to euthanize this dog. Not have any kind of quality of life. But she was this perfect little puppy, this wonderful, loving, kind soul, and I couldn't do that to her. And so I trained her, and I started working with her with touch commands. And then I had a friend that had a child with autism, and he came to visit one day and reached out, and he was a nonverbal child, and he reached out and told her that he loved her. And he'd never spoken those words to his mom, but this dog on a level that I couldn't understand and she couldn't understand, and I knew she had a higher calling. So that's how Green Dogs was born. When we moved to Virginia, I volunteered for the shelters, I volunteered for other organizations, but there really wasn't a rescue out there that catered to special needs, that sought them out, that gave them a chance. And so one day I said to my husband, this is what we need to do, and he said, sure thing. And 4 months later, our 501 came in the mail, and he says, oh my gosh, is this really a thing now? And
wow.
I said, yes, it is.
I love it. I'll tell you what, Erika Proctor, we salute you. I love getting to know the charities and the nonprofits like Green Dogs Unleash in the animal space across Central Virginia. Green Dogs Unleash, one of my favorites. Erika Proctor and her brand and her nonprofit, her charity, doing special, special, special things. Launching a nonprofit that gives handicapped and disabled dogs a second chance at living a very good life. Now, we're going to move on. Let's go to Dr. Chuck Wood. And Dr. Chuck Wood is a legend in Central Virginia and across Albemarle and Charlottesville in the animal community. He is the maestro, if you may, behind Old Dominion Animal Hospital. And he has helped, care and offer improved quality of life and save the lives of thousands of animals over his time at the Old Dominion Animal Hospital. And one of the things that I thoroughly enjoyed from this sizzle reel, Harris, is I enjoyed how Dr. Chuck Wood was educating our audience on What's Barking Local about the power of how dogs are being used in prisons to search jail cells to see if inmates have contraband, specifically cell phone contraband. Harris Tolber, before we roll the tape, what intrigued you about this particular aspect and this particular sizzle reel?
Well, it was pretty incredible what Dr. Chuck Wood was describing. He was saying that some of these dogs can essentially pick up if you had a cell phone in your pocket, like over the span of the last month or something. So they have these dogs kind of run in and help find cell phones, which obviously offer a lot of good information about some of the good information for the police officers. So yeah, it's an interesting clip, and I'm excited to show it.
Yeah, let's do this. Dr. Chuck Wood, Old Dominion Animal Hospital, Harris Tolber. Let's roll the tape.
And then you have the dog wash coming in the spring,
Yes.
and that's always at the Old Dominion's parking lot.
It
And
certainly is. We do it on a
and all of
Saturday.
your staff participates in that, and that's a big day.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I did that when I was in vet school as a fundraiser there. And, everybody gets out there, including our kids are there washing dogs.
Yeah.
And it's a great event. Sometimes we have different people showing different, we had some police officers there before showing some working dogs and how they get people out of cars and things like that don't want to come out. So it's very interesting. Sometime it'd be nice to talk about Coffeewood.
Yeah, Coffeewood.
Coffeewood is a correctional institute down in Farmville.
Okay.
And we do their dogs down there.
Cool.
And it's really interesting.
They're what kind of dogs?
Well, it's interesting because they have 3 kind of dogs they bring in.
Okay.
They have dogs that are search and seizure dogs. They have cell extraction dogs.
Okay.
And they have cell phone dogs.
Dogs
Wow.
that sniff out cell phones?
Yes.
Get out of town. How do they even do that?
Well, it was interesting because we see them, and they typically the people come in and they look like they have camo on, and they bring in Rottweilers, and Rottweilers are going to be cell extraction dogs.
Sure.
And what they do is these big guys that are down there, they say you need to come out because we need to talk to you or whatever. I'm not coming out.
Of course.
They come out as soon as they see that Rottweiler.
Sure.
So then they bring in the
wow.
bloodhounds, or sometimes they're labs or whatever, and of course they're search and seizure dogs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
The cell phone one doesn't
Right.
make sense to me.
So they bring in this little dog that obviously couldn't do any one of these two things. And I said, what does this dog do? And they said, it's a cell phone dog. If you've had a cell phone in your pocket in the last week, the dogs can know that. The people, the inmates are not allowed to have cell phones.
Sure.
Holy
And I
smokes.
said, can you show that to me? And he goes, I would love to, but I'm sure all your employees have had cell phones in their pocket. And so therefore everybody's going to come up positive. Of
course.
But if you took a whole room full of people, never had a cell phone in their pocket for their day, put one cell phone in there, sat them in a crowd, the dog would walk up there and sit down.
What is the dog? What's the dog?
Whoa, this is going to be a
what's the
whole nother
indicator?
show.
It's electronics.
It's the electronics?
Yeah, it's just amazing. And you think about they're sniffing cancer in people nowadays.
Well, yeah, I did know about that.
Yeah, but the cell phone
Diabetes
just
and
really,
everything.
really amazed me that they could do that because they can do drugs, of course. They can smell
Sure.
marijuana and all
Never
different
heard
things.
of the cell phone.
But the cell
I
phone
haven't
was
either.
really neat. I thought it was a really cool thing.
We should. Dogs being used to search jail cells to find contraband like cell phones. I mean, you've heard of the dogs that are at airports and the dogs that are at airports that are sniffing luggage to find drugs, illegal drugs. Someone's trying to get drugs into the country. But dogs being used to search jails to find cell phones, that is something I had never heard of. And Dr. Chuck Wood of Old Dominion Animal Hospital, we salute you. I think one of the fabulous things about doing these programs on the I Love Seville Network is I literally learn from our guests all the time. And Chuck Wood, he's got an IQ that's off the charts, so I certainly salute him. We'll move on to Kathleen of Primal Pet Foods. You know, one of the things that I think is extremely important, whether you're a dog or cat owner, is feeding your dogs and cats, your furry friends, the best food possible. Primal Pet Foods is one of the brands that Pattie Boden features at Animal Connection, Central Virginia's longest-running, most successful all-natural pet store with over 17 years of tenure. Kathleen of Primal Pet Foods came onto this set, Harris Tolber. And one of the things that I was so impressed with Kathleen was her understanding and her passion to the Primal Pet Foods brand. I literally wanted to say, Kathleen, come work for us at I Love Seville. Your passion is that contagious. She is truly a great brand ambassador, Harris Tolber.
Yeah, Kathleen was amazing, and in this next clip, she gives kind of an anecdotal story of how switching to raw food and that Primal Pet Foods offers essentially helped with the health issues of this particular dog. I believe it's a dog she describes, where he was able to make a huge recovery just from switching his this dog's diet.
So let's roll the tape, Harris Tolber. Let's hear from Primal Pet Foods, my friend, as we go now.
Alex.
I would love to hear a firsthand anecdotal story from you on how you have seen, whether it's a colleague, a friend, customer, of how Primal has really benefited their furry friend.
So I do a lot of events at local. So I cover Delaware, Maryland, DC, Virginia, and a chunk of North Carolina.
A good event is Dogfest.
Exactly. So
There you go.
I do talk to, although I usually talk to retailers, I do talk to consumers as well. And I had done an event probably about 18 months ago here in Virginia, and one of the consumers' dogs was German Shepherd, actually, was just diagnosed with pancreatic insufficiency. So they did some research. The store associate had already filled him in on Primal, but he came in to speak to me directly. We got him onto the beef formula, I believe, for his dog. And within 2 feedings, his dog finally had a normal bowel movement, which he had never experienced since having his dog. So within 2 feedings, it made a significant difference, not only in the consumer's quality of life, but in the pet's quality of life. And 2 feedings, you know, it was extremely quick.
That's a great testimonial.
I got a call from him. He called me
right.
directly and left me a message that was like, "Thank you so much." He was extremely happy to have some a peace of mind, you know. For his
I'm sure
pet.
you hear hundreds of stories like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
We are thoroughly grateful for Kathleen joining us from Primal Pet Foods. We're going to follow the benefits of really just, you know, a good, healthy diet for your furry friend on this program, What's Barking Local. Primal Pet Foods, of course, a brand you can find at Animal Connection, Pattie Boden store in the McIntyre Office Park. Pattie is on vacation right now. We're doing a best of show for Pattie Boden. We're taking clips from roughly 15 episodes that we have done on the I Love Seville network. You can find the show archived on animalconnectionva.com. Pattie's got a fabulous website for everything animals, animalconnectionva.com. I want to segue into the flea and tick season here at Harris-Tolber. And right now is getting to be 80 and 90 degrees outside. And a couple things happen when spring has sprung and when spring kind of matures into summer. This is what happens. We go outside with our dogs for walks. We go outside with our dogs for hikes. We take them to dog parks. We take them to the river, wherever it may be. And when we do that, they're picking up fleas and ticks and unwanted insects on their body. Also, with the hotter season comes flea and tick season. As it gets hotter, the fleas and ticks are more prevalent. So we welcome Pattie onto the show on What's Barking Local, and we talked about products that help with fleas and ticks. And I'd like for you, Harris, to cue up the tape. Wait for my cue here. And I think it's really important that people listen very closely to this. Because when you're taking your dog out to Dardental or to Humpback Rocks or to Sugar Hollow, or if you're Walnut Creek in it, or you're just letting the dog in the backyard, please make sure they are protected from fleas and ticks. Pattie's going to put that in perspective now, Harris-Tolber. Let's roll the tape.
Well, let's look at your other side of the table,
Okay.
because, you know, it's spring, so there's fleas and ticks.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So everyone says, what should I put on my dog? Well, I'm more about what can you do so that fleas and ticks don't want to be on your dog in the first place.
Or in your house.
Or in your house. And one of the biggest things I tell people is, what's your dog eating? Isn't that funny how it always comes back to food? If your dog is eating a high-carb diet, even the grain-free high-carb diet, you're creating yeast in the body. Fleas love it. It's like a magnet. They're ready to just join the party. So, you know, all that yellow stuff that's in their ears and in their toes?
Yeah.
That's a flea magnet right there. So, you know, you want to maybe consider higher protein foods. You want to look at something that's more essential oils rather than chemicals. And we have lots.
Right here?
Yeah, we have lots of options. These are all essential oils. If you have kids, you need to seriously think about this. I mean, if they tell you on the package, wait 3 days before you touch your dog.
That's not good.
No, why would you want your kids to touch this? You know, why would you want your dog to sleep with you if you've got to do this? And this stuff is systemic. It's in their bloodstream, where you could just, it's more work to do a spray, or this is diatomaceous earth. It's a fossil. It will kill fleas and ticks on contact. I have no love lost for a flea or a tick. But, you know, you could do this, and it's totally safe, you know, for people. I mean, you might not want to breathe this in, but you don't want to use a lot of it. You can use like about a dime's worth, yeah, and you've done it. But like I say, it takes more to manage, to put on your dog maybe 3 or 4 times a week, but you don't have all these chemicals.
Fleas and tick season upon us. Please protect the animals. Protect your dogs. It's going to certainly help them from a future and longevity standpoint. Animal Connection, the all-natural pet store for dogs, is the most successful one in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. Your place to find anything flea and tick related. Another guest that I loved Harris interviewing was Peggy Law. And Peggy Law is the executive director of the Service Dogs of Virginia. The Service Dogs of Virginia are training Labradors. And Harris, I was intrigued to find out only Labradors, because the Labradors can be trained with a little morsel of food, and the Labradors can be encouraged to do things with just the smallest item of food. They're taking Labradors from puppyhood, and they're homing them to folks that need these service dogs to help improve their quality of life. Could be diabetes, could be a disability of some kind. I was extremely impressed with the story of the Service Dogs of Virginia. Harris, I'm intrigued by your thoughts of what you thought of Peggy Law's interview and the Service Dogs of Virginia, sir.
Yeah, Peggy was awesome. I mean, she's so passionate about what she does, and she made a huge career and life choice. However many years ago, she decided to get into training service dogs and switching her career and getting a degree in training service dogs to help individuals with disabilities have a better quality of life. So I'm excited to show this clip, Jerry. I'm going to throw it back to you as I cue it up.
All right, Peggy Law, Service Dogs of Virginia, an organization you absolutely want to support. We work with them closely through Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine and what Dr. Wagner is doing. In fact, Dr. Wagner has a dog named after him because of his contributions to the Service Dogs of Virginia through his chiropractic practice. Harris Tolber, I'm ready to hear from Peggy Law. Let's run that tape, please. How long does it take for one of your fantastic animals to become service dog standard ready?
It takes about 2 years.
Wow.
So we start them at 8 weeks.
2 years.
And they train pretty regularly. We increase the complexity as they get older, but it takes 2 years.
What about how many animals graduate through? Is the graduation the right word?
Yeah.
How many graduate through your program?
About a dozen a year.
It's a whole ceremony too. I mean, graduation's a big deal at Service Dogs.
It is.
I mean, there's an audience, and
we have each of the clients there with their dog, every dog that graduated in that year. And if possible, we have people who helped to contribute to that dog's training, people who contributed both their time and love or who contributed financially.
I love it.
And they're also honored.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
We don't charge for our dogs, so it's
donations.
We want to honor those people who've helped make it happen.
That's fantastic. Let me throw this to you here. With the Service Dogs of Virginia, okay, give us a highlight or a spotlight of some of the people that have supported you.
Well, I'd like to highlight Scott Wagner. He has been a phenomenal supporter of us for several years. We named a dog Wagner. He was placed in a pretty interesting placement. He is with a counselor at Virginia Tech. And one of the things I taught that dog was to get tissues, so that if there's a student in a counseling session and they start to cry, Wagner can go and bring them tissues. And,
oh my gosh!
His counselor has told me he has made such a huge difference to people.
Wow.
He really can turn someone's emotions from being sad to feeling a whole lot better in a blink of an eye.
Service Dogs of Virginia, I totally salute you. Peggy Law, job well done. Green Dogs on Leash, SPCA, Caring for Creatures, the amount of nonprofits and charities that are in the animal space across Charlottesville and Central Virginia, the Commonwealth in totality, just is absolutely impressive. And I want to tip my cap as someone who, totally understands what it's like to launch a brand from scratch, to people that are doing this firsthand and truly from a philanthropic and altruistic standpoint. Our last highlight clip here on What's Barking Local, ladies and gentlemen, is coming from the Eastminster Dog Show that is right around the corner. It's Wednesday, May 15th. So a week from today, I believe that is right. A week from today, Harris Tolber, we had the ladies that were in charge with putting the Eastminster Dog Show on from the beginning, and the ladies who are running the Eastminster Dog Show right now. It's a Wednesday, May 15th. It's just a fabulous showing of dogs in Keswick. I've been there a number of times myself. I encourage you to go check it out. I'm going to throw it to you, Harris. I'm excited for the Eastminster Dog Show, and I'm excited to roll this tape. What are your thoughts on what's about to transpire?
Yeah, from what the ladies explained on the show, it looks like an absolute blast, and I'm gonna have to at some point go and check it out. Yeah, it's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be family, friends, food, dogs everywhere. I don't think you can ask for much more. I'm gonna throw it back to you, Jerry. I'm gonna cue up the clip.
I love it. I love it. Eastminster Dog Show in Keswick, Wednesday, May 15th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. I encourage you to get out there and check them out. We thoroughly enjoyed interviewing the committee behind the Eastminster Dog Show. Harris Tolber, let's roll that tape.
It's just a great part of history. I mean, the entire idea of the Keswick Hunt Club and their beautiful clubhouse, and it's now gone over some really extensive renovations, but there's just such a sense of history about the place to begin with. I mean, the hounds are there and the kennels, and relics of history past that are in the hunt club, and just the old horse show grounds. It's just a really nice country event. It goes on for, I think, 6 days now. But, there's everything from ponies to hunters to jumpers, and there's vendors, and you got to go, if nothing else, to go have a Keswick iced tea and a Keswick burger.
Wait, what's a Keswick iced tea?
It's like an Arnold Palmer, but with cement in
Palmers.
it. And, it's just one of those old traditions that just should always be preserved. And, it's just nice. Every night at the horse show, there is a different kind of entertainment, whether it's the Hunter Classic or fish fry or just whatever it is. And the Eastminster Dog Show has been the Wednesday night entertainment after the show. I've been doing this since 2011, the best I can remember. But it's just a great family night with dogs. I mean, and what's more fun than that?
I love dogs.
Right?
We all love dogs. We all have that in common. We
Right.
love dogs. Ginny, I got the question for you. How have you seen the show evolve in your lifetime and also since your involvement?
Well, I mean, in my lifetime, I mean, I was not living here from in the beginning of the dog show. I was gone for over 30 years. So then when I came back, I maybe went to it a few times when I was here visiting. I lived out of state. And so I think the best way that it's evolved is that it hasn't really. It's bigger, but it's still the same really wonderful small town spirit. It's what Charlottesville is all about. Keswick is all about. It's like a family event that's just silly and just lots and lots of fun.
It's unbelievable. I've been there myself. I know it from firsthand experience how fun it is. I salute LG and the team behind the Eastminster Dog Show. I'm truly grateful for Pattie Boden to introducing us to the team behind it. If you want a special time that's family friendly, you can watch some great dogs. You can have a lot of fun. You have some good food, some good libations. It's in Keswick. It's the Eastminster Dog Show. It's a Wednesday, May 15th, 5:30 to 8 o'clock. It's going to be an absolute blast. It's What's Barking Local. My name is Jerry Miller. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you on this program. What's Barking Local is powered by Animal Connection. Pattie Boden, the entrepreneur behind Animal Connection, she has 17 years successfully serviced Charlottesville and Central Virginia, and I'm truly grateful for her patronage and her servicing this community. She is on vacation. She is back next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. We encourage you to take this off, put in your calendar, and put What's Barking Local 3 o'clock on the I Love Seville networks on Wednesdays in your calendar. Because if you want to know about what's happening in the animal community in Charlottesville and Central Virginia, this is the dog show for you. This is the animal show for you. It's What's Barking Local. My name is Jerry Miller. For Harris Tolber, for Judah Wickauer, and for Pattie Boden, who's on vacay, it's What's Barking Local on the I Love Seville network.